About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic, and I was just like,
Ryan Reynolds, has seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence.
We're in an attention economy, and we're in a clickbait world, and everybody is trying to, figure out how to gather attention, look at the news.
You better sit tight for this one, because things just got a whole lot more complicated in the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni feud. Word on the street is that Ryan Reynolds has been kicked out of Wrexham ownership, and not long after Blake got caught in a swirl of contradictory stories. Fans everywhere are stunned. How does a Hollywood A-lister go from championing a beloved Welsh football club to allegedly being pushed out the door? And why on earth would any of this revolve around Blake Lively's drama with Justin Baldoni, and possibly drag Taylor Swift into the courtroom? The once picture-perfect Reynolds family is facing a meltdown that no one saw coming, and it's unfolding right before our eyes. In this wild saga, we've got conflicting accusations, rumored text message tampering, hidden power plays, and a colossal lawsuit that could put hundreds of millions on the line.
And I'm really excited. But as I've gotten a little bit older, I sort of want to. Really, I'm lucky that I get to work in this industry, and particularly incredibly fortunate that I get to work in it this long. But I really want to work with people that are either immensely talented.
All of a sudden, the sweet, playful couple who charmed social media is neck-deep in scandal. So, what really happened? Let's dive in. Everything seemed fine on the surface. Ryan making witty tweets about Wrexham, Blake preparing for her next big movie role. Then came a shocking set of allegations from Blake about her experience filming It Ends With Us. She accused her co-star and director, Justin Baldoni, of crossing lines and making her feel deeply uncomfortable. The rumor mill started churning, hinting that behind the scenes, the tension had been brewing for a while. But the moment these allegations hit the press, Justin Baldoni struck back.
If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her.
He launched not one but multiple lawsuits, claiming Blake manipulated the story. Even more surprising, he didn't stop there. He also aimed legal firepower at Ryan Reynolds himself, alleging Ryan helped Blake spin the narrative. According to Justin, the couple used their industry connections to shape how the media reported the story, from carefully curated leaks to suspiciously timed articles. Fans of Blake and Ryan were blindsided. Their public image has always been squeaky clean. Funny banter on social media, red carpet glam, adorable photos with their children. Now people were questioning whether that wholesome image masked a hidden manipulative streak. Could it be that the famed Lively Reynolds duo orchestrated an entire campaign to defame Justin Baldoni? As soon as Justin's lawsuits hit, everything got infinitely more complicated. Suddenly, there were claims of text messages that had been clipped or edited to make Justin's team look villainous. Justin's lawyers revealed their own trove of messages suggesting that, far from being a silent victim, Blake was deeply involved in rewriting scenes, influencing production decisions, and, contrary to her claims, communicating amiably with Justin when it suited her.
I was a huge Britney Spears fan in high school. What adolescent boy, what?
The alleged smear campaign wasn't the only twist. Some of Blake's so-called evidence began to unravel under scrutiny. For example, she had screenshots of a conversation that seemed to show Justin's publicist gloating about sabotage, but Justin's side said the texts were missing crucial emojis and sarcasm markers. Meanwhile, leaked on-set footage contradicted Blake's narrative about an invasive moment of whispering, revealing that it was her own suggestion to add intimate dialogue in a slow-motion scene. Even more eyebrow-raising, the timeline. If Blake was truly uncomfortable around Justin, why invite him to her penthouse for script discussions, and sometimes even a casual get-together with friends like Taylor Swift? None of it aligned neatly with her official story. That's when the avalanche of public doubt began. Fans who initially condemned Justin found themselves reconsidering. Blake's supporters scrambled to defend her, insisting there must be more to the story. As the lawsuits pressed on, it was obvious that this wasn't a simple misunderstanding. Someone was manipulating the facts, and both sides were determined to prove it wasn't them. Ryan Reynolds, for his part, tried to stay off the public radar. Usually brimming with humorous commentary, he turned unusually quiet.
I think people tell themselves stories, and this sort of comes back to your worldview that you just mentioned about.
Before long, though, the gossip mill discovered that Ryan wasn't just the bystander husband. He'd allegedly helped rewrite key scenes in It Ends With Us. Cast members whispered that no other star enjoyed such privileges. The combination of Blake's star power and Ryan's comedic genius seemed unstoppable, and perhaps a tad intimidating to anyone who questioned it. A cast insider leaked that Blake regularly used Ryan as a sort of silent partner in her creative process. According to them, Justin Baldoni gave her more leeway than any director typically would, allowing her to tweak scripts at will, and letting Ryan weigh in too. It might have been an attempt to avoid friction with two of Hollywood's most bankable names. However, that decision may have paved the way for this entire fiasco. Despite supporting Blake openly, Ryan appeared to have serious reservations about how the drama was unfolding. After all, the last thing
beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey, there's the person and we move on. It's
particularly Wrexham AFC. But then came the shocker. Swirling rumors that Ryan was being pushed, or perhaps kicked, out of the Wrexham ownership structure. Fans couldn't imagine how or why, yet the whispers only grew louder. When Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney first acquired Wrexham AFC, it felt like a fairy tale. Two Hollywood stars pumping money, energy, and global attention into a struggling Welsh football club? What could go wrong? Ryan often served as the friendly, approachable face of the organization, delighting fans with heartfelt social media updates and frequent visits to the grounds. But behind the scenes, talk was brewing that the rest of the ownership group didn't appreciate Ryan's outside distractions. He'd been rumored to be eyeing a purchase of the Vancouver Whitecaps in MLS, possibly dividing his focus. And now, with Blake's lawsuit fiasco stirring negative headlines, tensions at Wrexham apparently reached a breaking point. Some say Ryan was nudged aside for fear that his personal drama would overshadow the club's successes. Wrexham supporters, who once rallied around Reynolds, felt confused and betrayed. Was their beloved co-owner really stepping away? Official statements remained vague, fueling more speculation. Did he leave by choice to focus on the Whitecaps? Or did the club's board effectively freeze him out until the scandal cooled down? No one seemed to have a definitive answer, but fans noticed his once constant presence fading fast. Then came scheduling controversies. A postponed Wrexham match triggered online vitriol aimed at Ryan, with rival teams accusing him of using Hollywood influence to manipulate fixtures. Although one opposing club official clarified that fixture congestion forced the unusual scheduling, many remained convinced that Ryan got special treatment. As resentment grew, even some Wrexham fans turned critical, arguing that their club's real interest was overshadowed by a swirl of celebrity drama.
I love building things and growing things and telling stories, but nothing occupies the space in my mind, heart, and soul of it more than.
If Hollywood power couples and multi-million-dollar lawsuits weren't enough, Taylor Swift's name slipped into the narrative. While Blake and Taylor had been close friends for years, rumors now suggested that Blake frequently name-dropped the pop star to back her credibility, telling people that Taylor fully supported her version of events with Justin Baldoni. According to Justin's lawsuit, Blake used Taylor as her dragon, referencing Game of Thrones and implying Taylor would unleash her fearsome influence on anyone who opposed Blake. Swifties took immediate offense, not least because Taylor never publicly approved such a role. Skeptics wondered whether Taylor had any idea Blake was using her name in private conversations, and if she was comfortable being dragged into a legal battle involving deeply personal accusations. Tabloids also noted that Taylor didn't invite Blake to high-profile gatherings she usually attended, prompting speculation that their friendship was on ice. Some sources claimed Taylor didn't want her brand overshadowed by a scandal that might escalate into a massive lawsuit. Others said Taylor merely wished to stay neutral until the courts sorted fact from fiction. Either way, the days of cozy Instagram selfies seem to be in limbo. With a rumored $400 million lawsuit on the table, every party to this dispute has potentially life-changing sums at stake. Justin Baldoni claims the fiasco derailed major opportunities, tarnishing his reputation as both an actor and a director.
And, I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence, something that 1 in 3 women.
If a court sides with him, Blake and Ryan could be on the hook for millions, especially if Justin successfully argues they orchestrated a campaign that harmed him professionally and personally. For Blake, the consequences go beyond money. If a judge determines her allegations were fabricated or exaggerated, her credibility in Hollywood could plummet. Studios might shy away from casting someone who's proven willing to manipulate the press and possibly legal filings to get her way. even if she's fully vindicated, the negative press alone may leave lasting scars on her image. Ryan, meanwhile, is left balancing his next moves with extreme caution. How can he preserve his reputation as the witty, good-natured star while facing accusations of meddling? If the rumors about him being ousted from Wrexham are true, does that reduce his public exposure, or only serve to confirm that his personal troubles are spilling into his business ventures? And if he really does pivot to the Vancouver Whitecaps, will soccer fans see it as a betrayal of Wrexham or a fresh start free from the baggage of Blake's controversies? Then there's the wild card, Taylor Swift. If either side subpoenas her texts or testimony, the trial could become even more explosive, given her towering influence and the intense media interest in every aspect of her life. Such a scenario could force Swift to take a stance on Blake's credibility, something that might permanently alter their friendship and cause seismic waves among fans. Perhaps the most jarring outcome of this entire scandal is how it chips away at Blake and Ryan's almost fairy tale image.
Worked with her husband Ryan several years ago, so I've met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah.
For years, they projected a front-row romance full of playful trolling on Twitter and heartfelt moments on red carpets. To see them in the midst of a legal tug-of-war, where each new piece of evidence contradicts their public persona, feels surreal. Followers are now combing through old interviews and social media posts, looking for clues that this perfect couple might not have been as perfect as they seemed. Some have dug up older criticisms of Blake's behavior on other sets, while others recall times when Ryan's business decisions caused friction. None of it had made serious headlines until now. Suddenly, the rumor that Ryan got kicked out of Wrexham doesn't seem so unimaginable. If the ownership group saw negative publicity threatening the club's momentum, they might have asked him to step back until the lawsuit settled down.
Which was very complicated and difficult. My dad was a very, I come from a middle class, kind of blue-collar home, and my dad was just out of that generation where it's just he was Clint Eastwood, and less is more, simple grunts.
Even the notion of kicked out could be an exaggeration, but it's easy to see how scandal fatigue could prompt Wrexham's leadership to create distance. After all, football fans are notoriously passionate, and mixing unresolved Hollywood drama into their beloved club was bound to be unpopular. So, where does this all leave the once-adored Reynolds lively family? With multiple lawsuits, potential testimonies from Ryan and even Taylor Swift, and a horde of fans feeling jilted, the road ahead looks anything but smooth. The entire situation may hinge on whether courts find any merit in Blake's allegations, or whether they deem them baseless attempts to sabotage Justin Baldoni. Even if Blake manages to salvage her career, she'll face significant fallout in the court of public opinion. Cynics are already calling her move a ploy, pointing out how she filed a right-to-sue letter, but seemed reluctant to proceed with actual discovery. Meanwhile, Justin is determined to clear his name and recoup losses from what he believes was a targeted effort to destroy his reputation. For Ryan, the heartbreak is twofold. Not only is he defending his wife publicly, but he's also dealing with the possibility of losing the place he once found so rewarding, Wrexham. If the rumor is accurate that he's been pushed aside, it raises a glaring question. Will he refocus entirely on North American soccer, like the Vancouver Whitecaps, and leave the Welsh underdog story behind? Or is the rumored kick-out just short-term drama that will blow over? And then there's Taylor Swift, who might hold more power in this saga than anyone anticipated. Her brand thrives on authenticity and loyalty. If she's called as a witness, or even if she simply chooses a side, it could tip the scale of public sympathy dramatically. But as of now, she remains silent, leaving the world to wonder if the dragons Blake bragged about still have her back. The entire scandal feels like a Hollywood blockbuster, complete with lawsuits, star-studded cameos, and jaw-dropping twists at every turn. What started as a hush-hush dispute over alleged inappropriate behavior on a film set has escalated into a multi-layered fiasco touching football clubs, pop superstars, and the illusions of a golden couple. Is Ryan truly out at Wrexham, or is the rumor just a reflection of tension and tough decisions behind closed doors? Could Blake's story hold more truth than Justin's camp admits? Or are we watching the painstaking unraveling of a fabricated narrative? And how much longer will Taylor stay out of the public eye when her name keeps popping up in legal documents? One thing's clear. The stakes couldn't be higher, and every development only intensifies the drama. Whether Blake Lively redeems herself, Justin Baldoni cements his innocence, or Ryan Reynolds reclaims his spot at the forefront of Wrexham, the fallout from these accusations will be felt for a long time. Now, it's your turn. Do you think Ryan's alleged removal from Wrexham ownership is the final straw for the Lively-Reynolds duo? Or will they fight back against the swirling rumors and reclaim their once untouchable throne in Hollywood and in sports? Share your thoughts, keep your eyes peeled for fresh developments, and don't forget to check out our other videos to stay in the loop. In a saga packed with high-level